Issue 88. After seeing an airship hit the ground with lasers, we see the freedom fighters celebrate about how it's good to be home. When Sally told Sonic to go searching for signs of life after their airship crashed from sabotage, I thought for sure that it'd lead to an arc where the freedom fighters went through the cat country to try to flesh it out a little more, to make it more than just a country where they eat their young. But I guess that led nowhere. The heroes return to the kingdom of Nutpole to see King Acorn decked out in knight's armor with an angry army, saying that he intends to storm Eggman's fortress. How stupid is he? Once again, he shows a moment of complete genre blindness by actually thinking that he's allowed by the writers to be the one who defeats Eggman. Apparently, what happened while the heroes were gone is that Elias had been captured by Shadowbots. Well, that sucks. Apparently, Elias had snuck past the Royal Guard, foolishly went to Robototropolis, and somehow indeed managed to infiltrate Eggman's headquarters, where he found a veil with the metallic liquid and smuggled it away. I commend him on managing to get that far, but I can imagine desperation to cure his mother was clouding his judgment because, man, that was risky of him. Also, they aren't seriously saying that Eggman has had a cure all along, are they? That'd be a little too convenient to be good writing. Why would Eggman ever think to make that at all? He's never getting that illness. Some Shadowbots had chased Elias to the Great Forest, and he managed to pass his veil to a girl who seems like Mina near the Great Oak's entrance before being taken prisoner. I'm guessing he also got to tell all of his story to her, because otherwise I'd have to question how they know all of this. But wait, why was the girl not taken prisoner with him? The girl was instructed to bring the veil to the queen, and the veil's metallic liquid was injected into her, and now she's undergoing surgery. Wait, so that's what's gonna save her mother? I thought it would be the super emerald that made her hand twitch. That would have made more sense than a random liquid coming out of nowhere that never should have existed in the first place. Sally then has a bitch moment where she shouts at her father for telling her all of this after the fact, even though he had no way to tell her about all of this before she would return home. I mean, unless he could call her on a cell phone. But even if he could tell her, he was just being thoughtful by not telling her about stuff that would just upset her and ruin her week. Although I can understand her reaction in the sense that she's had a lot of stress and pressures to deal with in her life, and been forced to avoid complaining about it or showing weakness like insecurity and fear. So basically she bottled up her stress until it exploded out of her, in a totally disproportionate reaction to something mostly unrelated. And believe me, this is gonna happen for her again. It's not really this that she's angry about, it's the fact that the king hasn't been telling her stuff right away her whole life, and this seems to qualify just enough in her eyes to make her snap at him. She's probably not mad at this, since that'd be pretty illogical, she's just mad at all the other times he's kept stuff from her until the very end. Anyways, after that emotional outburst, Jeffrey advises a stunned Sonic to leave her alone, and admits that the Secret Service could really use his help on a mission. Why is Sonic still on a last name basis with him? Elias uselessly tries to tell the brainwashed Uncle Chuck that he can let him go if he wants, although he at least looks depressed, so it's obvious he knows it's hopeless. And Uncle Chuck says that he's forced to disagree, which he is, and calls Elias foolish, which he kind of was, but he saved his mother all the same, so. Meanwhile, the king tells Antoine that he can't be in active duty because he's on crutches with a broken foot. Not to mention I'm surprised that 1, Antoine's even surprised at this, and 2, they actually remembered to keep him injured for more than one issue, since Tails got a bump on his head and was pretty dazed because of it, but they forgot all about that injury in the next story arc that took place on literally the same day. Antoine also reveals that he's still just as arrogant as in the early days, since he actually believes his absence will jeopardize mission success. Since when has Antoine's absence ever done that? Bunny has a good girlfriend moment by loyally saying she'll sit the mission out with Antoine just to humor him. Although for the sake of the greater good, I'd rather she show her loyalty towards the rest of her team instead, rather than depriving them of a very competent, in theory at least, teammate. It's sweet how Antoine has that little wistful smile at her doing that. After Sonic's parents hug him, Amy runs in saying that Sally's in the med lab and wants to see Sonic and Jeffrey. Jeffrey explains that they're set to meet with the king in minutes. Sonic comforts Sally with his hand on her back while she has hers on his shoulder. Sorry, that's still not really a hug, plus she's not even facing him. This is so tame, I don't buy that these people are in love. Sally puts Sonic in charge of protecting the king on his mission. Everyone in the army rushes to Eggman HQ, but then there's an oh crap moment because Elias gets put in the roboticizer anyways. They wouldn't have the guts to do that, would they? And if so, how quickly are they gonna undo it? We cut back to Antoine right in the middle of the climax saying that he's taking his leap to the kingdom of Mercia, where he and Bunny will confront his father. Wait, he's still injured, so why would they agree to let him go there? The only one capable of doing any fighting among that pair is Bunny. This is a suicide mission. At the very least, Amy says she wants to go with them too, explaining that she was born in Mercia, as if that's any sort of enticement. She really wants to be useful, and I gotta respect her for that. This is much better of a personality for her than crazed fangirl of Sonic's. This is kinda like Amy in SE2, where her focus was not on marrying Sonic, it was all about, I can be useful too. Sally's the only sane man here, saying that she's not certain about any of this, being the perfect audience surrogate in the situation. Unfortunately, she agrees anyways because she wants to humor them, even though it'd be much better to send more than just one competent freedom fighter to a place like that. And they all share a group hug before Sally collapses into a hug with Rosie and starts to cry from the stress of it all.
This makes perfect sense since she's facing the possibility of losing her entire family all in one day. Her brother got kidnapped by Eggman. Her mother might not survive the surgery for all she knows. And who knows what might happen to her father out there.
This would be so much more heartwarming to see if it wasn't lazily drawn in monochrome with no real background for no good reason. After the king rushes in trying to save the prince, for some weird reason Uncle Chuck and Mutsky regain their free will out of complete nowhere. And this better have a good explanation because it feels like even more of a Deus Ex Machina than the last time. Then a robot hits a button, and Sonic then flies into a rage saying that they were back. Wait, what? They were back, but then what happened? I didn't see anything happen to them. The panels didn't show me them going back to being brainwashed or them getting attacked. So why did Sonic get so upset? I can fully sympathize with Sonic's rage here in theory, and how depressed he seemed afterwards, but it'd have a much better impact if I actually saw what was going on. Also, the king is injured, but so many other bad things have happened in this issue that I don't really care. Not that that's a complaint. The story ends with Sally finding out that the king is injured right after she's told that surgery for her mother is complete. In the next story, Knuckles wakes up in an ocean on debris and panics because the floating island is nowhere in sight. And surprisingly, Aethera shows up meditating as a green ghost of chaos energy, I guess, saying that he has evolved beyond physical form. So this was his hard purpose he went away to. Well, as long as he continues to be useful, I won't mind. Somehow, Aethera already knows what Knuckles' problem is. I guess ghosts have access to spy cameras too. And says that the answers Knuckles seeks are in Albion. Knuckles is naturally incredulous at this, telling him to just get into the floating island. And Aethera tells him that if he wants to get there, he'll have to follow the path he'll set forth with Robin Hedge as a guide. Knuckles then uses the guiding star gem after having to be reminded that he has it, and warps to the distant island of Mercia, in the northern seas of Mobius. The island part threw me for a loop first until I remembered that technically Great Britain is still considered an island, even if it is rather big for one. Wait, Robin Hedge already has his wife with a baby? That was fast. Has it been 9 months already? Then he kisses her on the cheek, reassuring her. Oh, that's sweet. It's sad that these two random side characters have more romantic chemistry than Sonic and Sally do. Robin Hedge reminds us of his paranoia by immediately assuming Antoine and Bunny were evil. And it's a good thing that the arrow just hit Antoine's sleeve instead of actually hitting him accurately. Then Amy heartwarmingly hugs her cousin, saying she missed him, although it's made less heartwarming by the fact that Robin told his cousin that he's already spoken for. It took me like a minute to realize that he doesn't recognize her as his cousin because of her modern design, and that makes it make a lot more sense. I love how after Robin calls Antoine a vile deceiver and accuses him of bewitching Amy, even though Amy just said she wished upon the Ring of Acorns, Antoine stands up to this idiot, saying, "Where do you get off treating us as if we were common criminals?" And Bunny looks angry too, being right at his side. Robin says that Antoine resembles General de Colette, who's running the kingdom with an iron fist. But that really shouldn't be cause for concern since he should know that he's roboticized, not doing anything of his own free will. And even if he wasn't, what does Antoine have to do with any of that? Fortunately, Knuckles steps in and straightens the whole thing out, and even says he can relate to Antoine about wanting to find his father. And then they agree to use Robin as a guide to Albion, although I'm not sure why Antoine and Bunny would agree since Albion isn't connected at all to Antoine's father. Carl Bollers wrote the first story, which offset the revelation that Queen Alicia could be cured with the unfortunate events of Elias being put in danger of roboticization, and later the king being injured while trying to save him. Not to mention, I guess, Chuck and Mutsky being freed only very temporarily? Is that what got Sonic angry? Because the comic, with its series of still images, did a crap job at telling me what was going on. They were freed, so what the hell happened? I had to actually look up on the internet what happened. Apparently, Uncle Chuck and Mutsky escaped behind a metal wall before the process could be completed. That's so helpful wording there. Are they still free-willed or not? So that's why Sonic was hitting the metal wall? They escaped behind it? Why'd I have to look that up? That's just frustrating, honestly. It puts a sour note on the whole issue. What also does is not only that I'm not sure Elias was saved successfully because he didn't make it clear enough, but the Queen's potential cure is a bullshit Deus Ex Machina. Why would Eggman even have this liquid in his base? I thought she would be cured with a Super Emerald, and that would have actually made sense. Not to mention the king listening to emotion over reason to endanger himself stupidly by rushing to battle himself, and Sally having an angry emotional outburst at the king that was unwarranted in context, although that at least is justified as she's more angry from all the other times he's been late on telling her important stuff, and this just happens to vaguely qualify enough to set her off, letting out her bottled up frustration. And the second story by Ken Penders has Othair, who is now a ghost but still fully capable of helping, magically know what exactly Knuckles should do for plot convenience's sake, as he somehow knows that Knuckles should get Robin to take him to Albion, somehow get back to Angel Island. We also see Robin frustratingly remind us of his insane paranoia by treating Antoine and Bunny like common criminals, and completely disbelieving Amy's explanation about why she looks older. At the very least, he's the loving husband of Marianne and even has a baby from it, which helps make him more sympathetic. But it's a really good thing he didn't hit Antoine with that arrow. I guess I can admire Antoine's determination at insisting on going to Mercia despite being injured, because he wants to be useful so badly, but he's just going to be alone and put himself in danger because he's injured. And it just makes all the more frustrating that they remember Antoine was injured but not Tails.